What is it about human nature? We see a train wreck, an accident happening, absolute disaster we can't help but watch. Well, I came across this title on a video, yet to watch, but I thought, this could be rather entertaining. The Big Short investor, Danny Moses, doubles down on bet against Tesla. Funnily enough, I think earlier this morning I actually read something on X about this same guy. 90% of his brain was missing and he did not know it. In 2007, in France, a 44-year-old man went to the doctor complaining of numbness in his leg and underwent a brain CT scan that revealed a shocking truth. The man didn't have 90% of his brain. The skull was almost entirely filled with cerebrospinal fluid, and all that remained of the brain was a thin peripheral portion surrounding the skull. Yet that man, whose IQ was just below average, I'm not sure I'd say 75 is just below average. I mean, that's borderline R-bomb territory. Had been leading a normal life for years. He was married, had 2 children, a job, and was continually shorting Tesla stock. Wait, did I read that right? Anyway, weird coincidence that this guy has appeared on a post in X and on CNBC in the same day. Let's see what he's got to say.
Welcome back. Tesla's charge continuing to get drained, down 1.5% for a third straight day in the red. Quartz reporting the company has removed 3,400 job listings from its site recently. Only 3 positions are currently posted. The stock is down 6% already this month. And Danny here is sticking with his short call on the stock after calling for it to head to $50 here on our show last November.
$50? Holy fuck, this guy should start a YouTube channel. Wait, what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that perhaps that 90% of missing brain is a bit of an issue for Danny here. Maybe he doesn't see what's happening with FSD, doesn't understand Tesla's technological leadership with electric vehicles, their manufacturing prowess, their scale. Anyway, let's see what he has to say and whether or not it makes a whole lot of sense.
So how do you feel about it now?
For someone who cares so much about the human race, he is firing a lot of humans at this moment. And everything's kind of falling apart in their core business. So what's
a not so subtle attempt to conflate managing a business with a lack of care for humans. Remember what happened when Musk acquired Twitter, now X, fired roughly 80% of the extremely necessary employees, and then the service continued to improve, flourish, get better, more efficient, just across the board, get significantly better with a fraction of the headcount. And at the time, everyone said Elon bad, companies going bankrupt, blah, blah, blah. And then quietly, a few months later, a bunch of other tech companies fired loads of people and no one mentioned it because, well, Elon had already taken the arrows. The guy does what is necessary, not always easy. Trimming the fat needs to happen at regular intervals. Otherwise, you end up with a company full of bloat. It's not fun for the people to get laid off, but this is the reality of business. If you want to survive and thrive, you need to be ruthlessly efficient, lean, and resourceful. And Twitter was an example of exactly the opposite. 80% of the people working at the company previously added 0 value. In fact, I would argue many of them actually negatively affected value, like the thought police. Let's not go there. Perhaps a quick trip down memory lane. Tesla's former VP of sales, discussing Tesla's Q1 2013, more than a decade ago. Let's see what he's got to say and whether or not it can add some useful context to what's going on today at Tesla.
We had to deliver 4,750 cars. In Q2 of 2012, we delivered 12 cars. It was the toughest month I ever worked. He assumed that we weren't doing enough fast enough to deliver enough cars in Q1 of 2013. Too little, too late. And he kept saying, too little, too late. Factory's ramping up, and they're building cars, but it's going to be close. Could they build enough? And we're halfway through the quarter, and we weren't making it. We were not making it. And I'm really getting emotional here because this was really a tough time. And we started bringing people from Europe, bringing people from all over to help deliver cars. The IT team was washing cars. Other departments, marketing was driving them to the other end of the parking lot. And I started an email trail to Elon every night, telling him, here's how many have sold, here's how many delivered, here's how many we have deposits on, and here's where we stand. And it didn't look good. It did not look good. And I would send it to him at 11:30, and he'd respond back at 11:35. And it just didn't look good, and he let me know. Then on the Tuesday, the last week of the quarter, I sent him one. And I remember it as if it was yesterday. He said, this looks promising. And it was Saturday at 3 o'clock. We delivered the 4,750th car, 3 o'clock. We made $11 million that quarter, put us over the hump, stocking from $20 to $90, and Tesla became a viable company. I stood up on a desk like this, called everybody around, and I said, you guys have no idea how impactful it is what you just did. You can't understand it, but what you just did is monumental, not just for Tesla, but for what we're going to do for mankind. You should all feel extraordinary sense of accomplishment. We were a real company on March 31st, 2013.
Well, isn't that fascinating? I mean, he couldn't have planned this much better. He's referring to the positive impact, that moment, that difficult moment where difficult things were occurring, where Musk was pushing and making tough decisions. What a positive impact that would have for mankind. True leaders do what is necessary, not what's easy, not what looks good, but what needs to be done. Musk has a history of making extremely difficult decisions that are in the best interest of his companies and their missions, which serve humanity. By the way, Musk actually replied to this clip. Thanks, George, with a heart emoji. We redirected everyone who wasn't building cars to delivering cars. Legal, finance, HR, designers, everyone. I personally delivered many cars. Tesla was out of cash, so it was a case of deliver or die. The team delivered.
What's he doing? He's pointing everybody to robotaxis and AI and autonomy and all that. At the same time, the DOJ is now, Reuters is reporting, is investigating this for wire fraud, et cetera, because he's been selling a product that doesn't exist. So we have August 8th is this unveiling of Robotaxi Day. And before that, it's going to be the vote. Shareholders are probably going to grant him $56 billion in options, obviously, here. A big news event that I don't think got enough play was an investment into a company called Wave, which has been around now for 7 years, by SoftBank, by NVIDIA, and a follow-on by Microsoft, Bill Gates personally, et cetera. $1 billion just got injected. This company is now in the process. They are using autonomy right now for driving in cities.
Bro, I'm dying here. Such a predictable playbook. Trying to create a sense of fear. Oh, there's layoffs. Oh no, the company's failing. Elon bad. Then lights another fire over here. Or the DOJ is investigating because you know why? Because Elon bad. Because the current administration has been attacking Musk and all of his companies ever since, funnily enough, the guy bought Twitter and allowed people to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, and possibly in the future, even information about laptops that may affect the outcome of future presidential elections. Next minute, all the Musk's companies are being attacked constantly. The justice system has been weaponized against Musk-led companies. Anyone with half a brain cell can see this is happening. It's a great photo for somebody like Denny. The word investigation sounds so scary, doesn't it? Oh, investigation. Doesn't mean anything, but it's enough to create a little bit of fear and uncertainty. And then, after creating some fear and uncertainty, another example, by the way, would be accused of, allegations of, someone says something, who cares? How about actual evidence? The next trick. But Tesla FSD, that's terrible. Look, Bill Gates, Microsoft, NVIDIA, big numbers, autonomy, Tesla FSD. This idiot is trying to imply that Tesla FSD is going to get absolutely smoked by Wave. Now keep in mind, you guys understand how the finance media works, right? In part, it's an extension of the Wall Street fee machine, a mix of financial news, plus people with a vested interest appearing in the media to sell their products or services. Hey, this is Dickhead McFuckwit, fund manager of Underperform ETF, here to talk about his top picks, right? They always mention. Our next guest, Dr. Shithead Soyboy, with his latest book on how Elon Musk is a fraud and Tesla is doomed, available now, to tell us his... Right, there's always a reason. And then, the other function of the finance media is for people to engage in brazen stock market manipulation. Go short a stock, and then appear in the finance media explaining that you're short a stock. If your name's big enough and you have a big enough reputation, that alone can have an impact and make you a fuck ton of money on your short. But if that doesn't work, don't worry. Just come up with a bunch of funny points that might concern or scare some of the 75 IQ people watching your network into making decisions, and therefore you might make some money on your short that way. And most important of all, whatever you do, just ensure as a finance media outlet, as an arm and extension of the Wall Street fee machine, that you encourage your viewers to actively engage in trading, buying and selling. Why? Because it generates fees on Wall Street. The finance media and the big brokerages on Wall Street are essentially a self-flating entity. Do you understand how this all works? Even if what Denny is saying... Wait, what's this on screen right now? I'll have to get my editor to fix this. I must have a glitch. Anyway, even if what Denny is saying is false, if he's able to cause enough activity just through his appearance on CNBS saying such absurd things, he might make some money on his short. That's why he's there. He's not there out of the goodness of his heart. By the way, Jim Cramer himself explained how to do this back in the day in a clip recorded on a website on the World Wide Web that he failed to realize would be around forever. It's hilarious. If you guys haven't seen it, just search on YouTube. Just search for how hedge funds manipulate stocks, and you'll see a clip featuring this very guy who I think it might have been hitting the nose beers a little bit hard prior to this segment. He was very talkative. He just must have had a cold, I mean. Anyway, he'll explain exactly how people manipulate stocks using the media. It's funny, by the way, because he's currently in the media and runs what he describes as a charitable trust, which owns stocks. Anyway, let's not go there. Back to Denny, throwing out as many possible points to his low IQ audience in the hopes that some of them will act on his fomenting of fear, uncertainty and doubt, and he'll make some money on his short position and extremely likely close it well before $50 per share.
I don't think people paid attention to that enough. I'm invested in a venture capital fund, Compound, that actually has an investment. They were there early 7 years ago, so just for full disclosure. So I've been up on the story for a long time. I think people really need to see, and I think the more time that goes by here and their core business is coming under pressure, I think this move to own it for robotaxis and AI is going to fade over time. So 150 billion market cap at $50 seems like a reasonable valuation to me.
You're still short, and you're looking forward to head to 50.
Yeah, staying short.
Okay.
I'm not sure that was a very convincing, yes, I'm staying short until 50. I mean, he did say that, but it didn't exactly sound convincing. When he claimed that he was long this particular company, what is Melissa Lee doing? Just as he's describing, full disclosure, I'm long this company. If I didn't know any better, I would think that Denny's here to not only make money shorting Tesla stock by scaring investors, but also, on the flip side, make money on investing in whatever the fuck that was called, Wave, by disclosing that he's long, as opposed to just being here to share his genuine thoughts on Tesla and the so-called competition when it comes to autonomy. But hey, I'm just really cynical and pessimistic, so don't listen to anything I say. And now some thoughts from the fashion icon, Mr. Catchphrase himself, Dan Ives.
What is your assessment of the situation for Tesla right now?
Look, it's been a very difficult, I'd say, 6 months, but really because of the China story. I mean, China, that was a key growth engine that's now been a headwind. But our whole view on Tesla, this is just, we'll call it the early stages of a much longer term story that's starting to play out. And I think we've been here before. They've been through challenges, but even like we've seen the last few weeks with the earnings, then Musk going to Beijing and others, there have definitely started to now be some seeds that I think are going to lead to growth.
And, we've had a conversation with a few different people about whether we should even be describing Tesla as a car company. One analyst said, if you're a believer in self-driving, if you're a believer in AI transforming the auto industry, if you're a believer that fewer people will be driving in 10 years because there's full self-driving and because there's things like robotaxis, that is an investment worth considering. If you don't believe in that transition, then Tesla might not be the name for you. How do you think about it?
Before Dan answers, I'll share my own thoughts. I can't really see how it makes a whole lot of sense to be investing in Tesla if you think they are literally just a car company and you exclude autonomy, Optimus, the energy storage business, and literally just look at them like you'd look at Ford or government motors. Just doesn't make any sense to me. It also doesn't make any sense to me to ignore those massive opportunities that Tesla obviously is not only pursuing, but has an unassailable lead in. I mean, hello? Autonomy? Have we not seen what's happening with FSD V12? The rewrite? End-to-end, trained only on video? Are we ignoring the progress with Optimus? Are we going to ignore the gigantic growth in the energy storage business? Probably unwise.
I mean, I think it's, I wouldn't say an insult to call it just an auto company, but my view is it's disruptive tech. Because when you look at the broader vision in terms of full self-driving, autonomous, electric vehicle transition, even though demand's obviously moderated globally, I think it continues to be a disruptive technology player. But I think many that call it an auto company, John, it's the same people that they look at Microsoft and say, it's still legacy PC Windows instead of a cloud company. So I continue to view this as the disruptive technology player that's really in the a transitionary state for growth.
And so for a company that has lost about 30% of its stock value this year, how do you now look at it as an investment?
It's a pound the table for longer term. I mean, obviously, if you look at it over the last 4 or 5 years, any types of these sell-offs have really been golden opportunities. Now, you got to put the seatbelt on and definitely, you're going through a white knuckle period. But on the other side of this is I think growth returns to China and you start to have the FSD autonomous vision start to play out. You're going to see them gain more and more share. And the sub 30K vehicle next year, we'll call it a Model 2.5, that's going to be key to capturing Sure, but right now, look, New York City cab driver is bearish from Tesla.
It's going to be awkward when the New York City cab driver is no longer financially viable because they've been replaced by autonomy.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, I would imagine there's a lot of New York City taxi drivers that have been talking about NVIDIA. And we just had an investor who said, given the historical cyclical nature of the chip industry, be careful with a company like NVIDIA after the run-up that it's had. Now, this is their earnings come later in the reporting period. We've already gotten through the big technology companies, so we still are waiting for NVIDIA's results. What is the current Dan Ives view on NVIDIA?
It's the godfather of AI, Jensen NVIDIA. In other words, this is the early part of this AI revolution playing out. 1995 moment, not 1999. So when I look at NVIDIA, anytime you have the sell-off, you continue to own the stock. Because you look at NVIDIA, Microsoft, now this AI tidal wave coming through. If Jensen's flying the plane, I'm in 29E feeling pretty comfortable.
NVIDIA stock in particular, clearly crushing it at the moment. You know why? People have finally figured out there's absolutely insane demand for the products they produce that helps people to, wait for it, train AI. Clearly insane demand for the hardware equals massive revenue and profit growth for NVIDIA over the next few years at minimum. What a lot of people are failing to appreciate is that it's not the hardware training the AI that's going to bring the real value. It's the AI that the hardware is required to train that's going to bring the real value. Unfortunately for me, I don't know of any companies pursuing any of these colossal AI opportunities, like, for example, autonomy or humanoid robots. Because if I did, I'd probably buy one or two of their shares maybe. If you know any companies that fit the description, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. Plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental games improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.